Nobody can deny it. Food is great. It is delicious and necessary to survive every day. Unfortunately, not all the food produced is consumed. This video presents relevant information about food waste, and most important, what can you do to prevent it as a consumer at home? Food waste is complex, and it requires awareness to act fast. Maybe you wonder by now if food waste is a problem. Yes, it is. But the problem is not about the food. Instead, it is the system behind it, the food supply chain. The global food supplies are enough for the 7.5 billion humans in the world, but not everyone has the same access to it. From the field to your table, at least 1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted, representing 1.3 billion tons of wasted food annually. Such condition has consequences in different aspects of the world. Very often, the impacts of food waste are not visible for the people in developed countries because these are not as obvious as in other parts of the world. Food production requires huge amounts of water, soil, energy, and human work. According to the United Nations Food Agriculture Organization, if food waste would be a country, it could represent the third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, right after the USA and China. Food waste greenhouse gas emissions are higher than the aviation, iron, and steel industries together, and it is close to the road transportation industry. On average, 88 million tons of food are produced by the state members of the European Union. The social impact is relevant for the estimated 821 million people around the world with insecure access to food, from which 151 million of them are children under 5. Wasting food has an estimated cost of $680 billion for industrialized nations, while it accounts for $310 billion in underdeveloped countries. The European Union member countries waste an estimated 143 billion euros. However, a global problem has different costs. The costs are beyond the wasted food. If you're interested to see the hidden costs of food waste, please visit the link in the description of the video. A global problem has different causes. In the European Union, it is frequently attributed to the consumer sector. According to the European Union project Fusions, households contribute to 53% of the total amount of food waste, estimating a value of 98 billion euros, while Swedish households throw 5,000 kroners worth of food every year. As mentioned before, food waste is a complex problem which requires different solutions to solve it. At this point, you might be feeling overwhelmed by the numbers and facts. Probably you are wondering if food waste has a simple solution, huh? Lucky you, there are several simple actions you can do to stop food waste. Prevention is the most valuable action to reverse the problem. And you can do it by applying the following 4 actions next time you do something related to food. First, plan better. Second, store efficiently. Third, cook the right amounts. And 4, save leftovers. Planning will be easier if you consider a structured process. First, Take in consideration your diet preferences, meal plans, and nutritional needs. Second, check the fridge and food drawers before food shopping. And third, make a shopping list every time you buy several food items. Consider the food you have at home and your diet preferences. The fewer food trips, the better, as a consumer behavior study concluded. The research performed by the University of Berkeley found that the more you visit the supermarket, higher is the amount of time, the money you spend, and the need for food. Avoid this by planning your grocery day in a convenient time of your week. You will develop a routine and eventually turn it into a habit. Once a week might be ideal. To have a monthly budget for groceries increases the probabilities to buy just what you need and to stick to your personal food stock. It is recommended to not buy discounted products. Otherwise, you will buy more than what you need. If you do, make sure that these adapt to your diet and meal plans. Short-dated products are a good deal, but if you buy them, make sure to consume them as soon as possible. An adequate storing structure increases the freshness of the food at home. Right after grocery shopping, make sure to place everything inside the fridge, freezer, and drawers. It is recommended to place the vegetables and fruits in the bottom drawers. However, not all of them. Animal meat or substitutes should be at the bottom as it is the coldest level of the fridge. If you store animal meat, replace the original package to keep them fresh. If you have big amounts, you can freeze what you're planning to consume later. It is ideal to date the frozen meat. Dairy products, eggs, or substitutes should be in the middle shelf, not in the door. Ready-to-eat food should be in the top shelf. The door has most of the variations in temperature as it is constantly open and closed. You can place dressings and sauces in the door. Mayonnaise and butter are fine here. The temperature of your fridge should be set to 5 degrees Celsius to maximize the life of your food. If you do not know how to set your fridge, you can find a useful link in the description of the video to determine the temperature according to the brand of your fridge. Outside the fridge, it is recommended to place certain fruits and vegetables. Smart combinations extend the freshness of your organic treasures. For example, apples and potatoes stay better together, as apples produce ethylene gas, which prevent potatoes to sprout and slow the oxidation. Tomatoes should be kept outside the fridge if consumed within 3 days. Otherwise, keep inside the fridge. Fruits with pits, avocado or peach, should be outside to get ripped. Vegetables such as zucchini and eggplant should be stored outside in a dark drawer. Finally, make sure to consider the date label when storing food. Best before and used by are often confused. The difference? Used by is the date limit to consume the labeled product, while best before is a recommended date to eat food, but it can still be consumed after the indicated date. Following recipes can be fun and it is better for your cooking skills. Once you master the portions and amounts, you can follow your favorite recipes by heart. If you're going to prepare a new dish, just make sure to cook a small amount and follow the portions recommended in recipes. If you fail, you can recook the food with a different dish. Always cook the food in portions, thinking in the servings you want. If If you like fresh taste food, only cook for a single portion in your plate. If you consume meat, try to cook it as soon as possible so you can avoid spoilage. When eating, begin with a smaller portion than you can eat. Better to refill than to waste. If you have a surplus of food after cooking, make sure to store properly. Before placing inside the fridge, allow warm food to chill. If you prepare soup or you have bread, you can always use the freezer to have fresh soup and bread once you defreeze them. Do not assume and give a second chance to all the food you have in your fridge. You should not rely on your sight, nose, or mouth all the time. A combination of the senses is the best test to determine if food has expired. If cheese is moldy, then you slice the rotten part and eat the rest. Recook old leftovers into new dishes. There are plenty of recipes out there. You will be amazed by the creativity. Repurpose vegetables and fruits that don't look that fresh into smoothies, juices, soups, or stews. It might sound like a lot of things to consider, but once you start, you will be on the right path for a more sustainable life. Cutting food waste is a delicious way of saving money, helping to feed the world, and protect the planet, says Tristram Stewart, a food waste expert in Frigen. Thank you for your time and have a tasty food prevention.